Westport had provided the Irish experience we wanted from this holiday. Stunning scenery and lively bars full of singing and dancing, but today on day 5 of this trip we were heading north and into Northern Ireland.
We set out in the rain after breakfast, and this was a slow and difficult trudge in poor weather.
We passed through Sligo and into Donegal, but the rain and the clouds masked the natural beauty of these places for a lot of the journey, but we did get glimpses of what these counties had to offer.
We were heading towards Derry, or Londonderry if that's how you refer to it, and we approached the border between the Republic and Northern Ireland. Si turned off the main road down some narrow lanes that climbed a steep hill. We parked up at the top of the hill. So where's he taking us now? Bet it's about history again. No matter how hard he tries, he'll never have hair like Neil Oliver. Give up on that, Si.
So jokes about my shiny head aside, this was a place I had always wanted to visit. The Grianán of Aileach is one of the finest examples of a ring fort or dun that you can find anywhere. And here we were all ready to explore it and enjoy the incredible views from the hilltop. Alright, the rainy, misty views from the hilltop.
And we walked up to this amazing stone fort that you can walk right inside, and were amazed on how accessible it was, and climbed the walls to take in the views.
Here we are at my token bit of archaeology for the week, and we're nearly at Derry. It's still chucking it down. We're at a place, Grianán of Aileach, I think, which is a dun built in the sort of the 7th, 8th centuries on a site of an old ancient hill fort here. And it was a fortification of one of the old Ulster kings, and it's in immaculate condition. It's like a castle before castles were kind of built here, and it's tremendous. It's a complete sort of ring fort. It is actually built on the site of an ancient hill fort, and you can still see the ramparts out there, you know. And being from Dorset, originally the home of the hill fort, this is like my heaven here. And look at the views across the surrounding countryside, absolutely stunning. And it's in immaculate condition. According to the storyboard on the entrance in, it has been partly restored, but it is immaculate. What a place, what a spot, what a setting, loving it.
The 5-metre high walls themselves are hollow too, and this was some place, and it is simply in amazing condition, and it stirs up thoughts of how these lands were ruled and fought over for millennia before any of the recent conflicts. And this place is even referred to in the ancient Irish myths and legends, believe it or not.
And as a bonus, in the shadow of the fort is an ancient freshwater spring dedicated to St. Patrick. Si was in his element and grinning like the Cheshire Cat himself. Come on, Si, it's nice here, but very soggy.
Back in the car, we drove across the border into Northern Ireland, and everything around us began to look just that little bit more familiar and less expensive also.
We headed into the city of Derry and made straight for our hotel. Si was tired from all the driving and needed a rest, so in the afternoon we did just that. I awoke the Kraken late in the afternoon and we needed a bite to eat.
Well,
Evening.
Here we are, in Derry. Although this afternoon, I'm that tired after all the driving, I hit the bed and went and grabbed quite a long doze this afternoon. Obviously needed it, but it's still raining. It hasn't brightened up while I've been asleep. But instead of going out and partying like crazy people in Derry this afternoon, I've had 40 weeks instead. But we are going to catch up with my cousin who lives near here and is kindly going to join us for a meal. It'll be nice to catch up.
I'm looking forward to that. That'll be nice. Nice glass of wine tonight, I think.
Nice glass of wine and some good quality family time.
That's it.
So we won't show you too much of that. We're just going to catch up on family stuff. So join us tomorrow and just see if we actually do manage to explore Derry.
And actually, if we can get out tonight without getting too wet.
Yeah, I mean, the weather's supposed to be better tomorrow, so it is still lashing down out there. Anyway, stay tuned.
So we'd arranged to meet my family for a nice meal, and we freshened up and cabbed it down to Ebrington Square, where we were meeting the family in a nice little restaurant called Stitch and Weave. The wine flowed and the conversation was stimulating, and this was quality time with family that we hadn't seen in too long, and it was so good to see them and learn about their lives here in this wonderful city.
We took a taxi back after, and then even more sleep. Night. Morning.
Good morning. How you doing? All right, so we had a lovely meal last night, didn't we?
It was delicious.
So sew and stitch, or stitch and weave, or
No, Stitch and Weave.
Stitch and Weave.
Yeah.
Okay. It was really nice, and they don't normally open on a Monday apparently, but there was graduations going on, and the restaurant was full of people celebrating, which was had a really nice atmosphere, wasn't it?
It did, yeah. There was people with cakes and all sorts, all dressed up to the nines.
And importantly, we caught up with my cousin Sarah, and
her family.
And her family. It was lovely to catch up. Really lovely evening. Great family time, putting the world to rights.
Yeah.
So today we're in Derry, and my kind cousin has been an absolute trooper and a superstar, has offered to take us on a bit of a mystery tour today.
Yay! On the mystery tour!
Got no idea what this involves, but she lives here, so she's going to take us into the surrounding area, I think is the plan.
Yeah, she's going to take us out for breakfast first, isn't she?
I don't know, did we wait to see? I hope so, because we've not had any breakfast.
No.
Yeah, so I think rather than the city itself, we're going to be dropped back in the city tonight so that we can see some of the city centre area and the walls and all the things in the city.
Yeah.
I think she's going to take us to the surrounding area and show us some of the sights of the area. And she lives here, so hopefully we're in the hands of a trusted local. Anyway, stay tuned and see what we get to see. And the good news is I don't have to drive at all today.
No, it's giving you a nice sort of well-earned break, really, isn't it?
A lot of driving. At any rate, right, stay tuned.
Cousin Sarah collected us from the hotel bright and early, and we crossed the River Foyle and headed back across the border into the Republic, and we followed the coast road north to the village of Buncrana. We didn't know what to expect, but we knew we were in safe hands.
Sarah parked us up overlooking Lough Swilly. The sun was shining on us, and Sarah promised a nice walk in this stunning setting before a spot of breakfast.
And here we learned about the role of this place in the life of the great slavery abolitionist John Newton, who was inspired to write the hymn Amazing Grace after his ship was sheltered here in the loch during a terrible storm.
We followed the path into the estuary of the River Crane and into Swan Park. The views were spectacular, both across the loch but also of Castle Bridge, which dates from 1718. We walked into the park and this was a serene setting, and the sounds of the flowing river were the perfect soundtrack.
So the first spot that my cousin Sarah's taken us to is this place called Buncrana and the Swan Valley, and look how gorgeous this is. And we'd never know this was here, but what a walk this is. A beautiful river valley, some fantastic history. There's a castle over there as well. Absolutely stunning. I think this is going to be a brilliant day, and the sun's in the sky.
The paths were well made and easy to follow, and there were plenty of viewpoints from which to admire the flowing river, and we took advantage of them all. Wonderful.
Wildlife in the park was abundant and the flowers were in bloom, and this was such a beautiful place. We walked a loop through the park, up one side of the river and back down the other.
And we learned of Henry Percival Swan, whom the park is named after, and he was a prominent local businessman and philanthropist. We also posed for pics of us all. Great family snaps, priceless.
This park was a natural oasis and such a pleasure to visit.
I also got to have a bit of fun with the drone too, but we needed to move on. But not before we found the 14th century keep, of course, but sadly you can't explore inside this ruin, but it's still quite a find.
But not as an amazing find as Tank and Skinny's, a brilliant cafe on the shores of Lough Swilly with seating directly overlooking this breathtaking view.
We settled in and enjoyed a healthy and late breakfast for a change. Is it that part of the holiday already?
Afterwards we took a walk on the adjoining beach whilst we waited for the ferry to Rathmullan. This was a beautiful stroll.
Ferries run every 80 minutes in the summer, so we had time to enjoy this spot and soak up some sunshine too. We then got back in Sarah's car and boarded the Lough Swilly ferry.
More pickies whilst aboard, and we sat on the deck and soaked up yet more sunshine as we crossed the loch. It was clouding over inland, but luckily we were planning to follow the coast north.
So we drove off the ferry and continued following the coast road north. This was spectacular coastline with views across the mouth of the loch. The Knockalla Coast Road we were following was actually only built in the 1960s and was vital to serving the communities on this peninsula. It's quite a feat of engineering and opens up some spectacular views, and cousin Sarah kindly stopped at many viewpoints so that we could grab those views and pictures.
The road took us into the village of Portsalon, and we left the car and walked to its pretty beach and harbour. These seas were a turquoise blue and shallow and backed by golden sands. What a spot, and this could be somewhere in the Mediterranean, except there were so few people around. Magical.
We grabbed a drink in the village pub before driving back to Rathmullan, and back at the ferry we parked up and waited for the next crossing. With fish and chips, yum 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 yum. Thanks Sarah, you're the best cousin ever. We crossed back across the loch to Buncrana, and Sarah dropped us back at the hotel.
This had been a brilliant day exploring and catching up some more. We promised not to leave it so long before we catch up again.
Back in Londonderry we said goodbye and we went into the city centre to do some more exploring. We crossed the Peace Bridge from Ebrington Fort into the city, and this gave us amazing views across the River Foyle.
In the city centre we knew we didn't have too much time to explore. It was after 7 p.m, but we reckoned we had enough daylight left to walk the historic city walls, and Si would be able to add a video to his Walking the Walls series.
Derry's walls are some of the most intact defensive walls in the British Isles and date from the 17th century. They are immaculate and complete with 7 city gates and 24 restored cannons on the battlements. We climbed via Magazine Gate and began our clockwise circuit. The walls provide visitors with plentiful signboards explaining what you can see as you navigate your way around, and there are some splendid views across the sites as you progress. As we passed over Newgate Bastion, we heard the sounds of a marching band, and we realised that this day was also the start of marching season. This tradition is both a source of pride and contention in the community, but having only seen these events on news bulletins previously, it was interesting to see them in person, and we continued our walk after the band had passed and enjoyed more of the highlights of the wonderful city walls.
St Columb's Cathedral is beautiful, and the views across the bogside and the incredible murals are especially thought-provoking. We can never truly understand what this community has been through, but it was so reassuring to see the incredible efforts made by all to move on and build a better life and beautiful city together. The Walls Walk sadly came to an end.
We are back where we started, at Magazine Gate, and we've done a complete circuit of Derry's fabulous city walls.
There was one piece of street art that we did especially want to see.
Not that one, Si.
Hey, Teenage Kicks is still arguably the best song from the punk era, just saying.
No, we had to see the mural depicting the brilliant TV show Derry Girls, and that thankfully was close to our exit from the walls.
Bicky's taken and then a Guinness in the Blackbird pub, which was named in the UK's best pubs list. It was rather good also. And after heading back to the hotel, we stumbled upon the Peace Flame, symbolising the commitments made by all communities to living peacefully together, a continuous flame symbolising everlasting peace.
We walked back across Peace Bridge and headed back to our hotel, knowing we were leaving this fabulous city in the morning. Give us your thoughts, guys.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, so that's our 2 nights here in Derry Londonderry done. Lovely city, isn't it?
Oh, I've had a great time. I love looking at all the street art and everything. It was brilliant.
It's clearly got a really vibrant culture here. They make a big thing about the Derry Girls thing, which is really great because it was a funky series.
Yeah.
But the surrounding area, Sarah took us out yesterday, and
Oh, it's gorgeous.
absolutely. I mean, I think that's the danger. You could just focus on the city, couldn't you? And
Yeah.
then miss all the other stuff that's in the surrounding area.
Well, we went over on the ferry.
Yeah,
Didn't
the Rathmullan Ferry,
That's
Buncrana
it, yeah.
Rathmullan Ferry. That was gorgeous, wasn't it? Going across Lough Swilly and
We
then
went right up and looking across, didn't we?
up to Portsalon with a
Yeah.
beautiful little cove and bay there, and really, really nice. And we were lucky we had the weather, and everybody said that, didn't they? Oh, you've had the weather.
Yeah.
All the taxi drivers and
That's
everything.
it, yeah.
You know, oh, you've had the weather. But I mean, it lashed it down on the first day we got here, didn't it? But
It did, yeah.
but you know, it's a funky city. Really liked it. Definitely a place we'll come back to. I
Don't
think.
forget we went to Swan Park, didn't we?
Oh, that was nice. Wasn't
yeah,
it?
we went there first, didn't we?
Yeah.
That was absolutely gorgeous.
Really nice, really enjoyed it, and obviously we were spoilt rotten by my cousin, which really
Oh, we
helped.
were,
But,
yeah.
you know, it's a really quality family time.
Thanks, Sarah.
So we are moving on our road trip. So it's 2 nights a move, and then we're going down to Coleraine, and we're going to try and do the stuff on the Causeway Coast, which includes
The Giant's Causeway.
So see how we get on today. The sun is still out, so
Yeah.
hopefully we will get there before the clouds come over.
Derry had been a wonderful place to visit, and we knew that this stop had been a wise one on this road trip. But our adventures in Northern Ireland were set to continue with some bucket list destinations firmly in our sights. But will they really live up to the hype?
Join us in our next video to find out.
If you like this video, please leave a comment below.
If you want to see more of our adventures, why not subscribe?